This training video, we will be understanding interference and why it is so important. We've talked briefly about the concept of interference, but we're going to go into greater detail at this point. You should reference pages 229 through 232 in the Rules of the Road in your DI program materials. In Destination Imagination, the general concept of interference is that the team must conceive, design, construct, and perform its own ideas. The solution is the team's design, its works, its performance, and its score. The team is responsible, not the team manager. The team manager is the facilitator. This does not mean that a team manager cannot help his or her team. Resource people or experts in a particular area and materials such as books, videos, and so on are definitely allowed and are a good way to teach basic skills as long as they teach basic skills and they don't tell the team how or what to do. The interference triangle is a helpful visual tool in understanding the rules of interference. The base of the triangle has two corners, skills in one corner and the challenges and rules in the other. All teams begin with these foundational blocks at the beginning of the program season. All teams have the opportunity to learn more in both corners. They may be taught new skills or concepts by experts. The team manager may facilitate understanding of the challenge by encouraging team members to read and reread the challenge and rules and ask for clarifications when needed. The top of the triangle contains the team solution. This is no man's land for anyone other than the team members. Whatever the solution looks like is the result of the skills that the team has acquired and their understanding of the challenge and rules. Let's talk about a few common interference scenarios. It is part of your role as the team manager to help your team acquire new skills. Each challenge has a specific academic focus that predisposes the team to learning skills in that area. For example, your team will probably not be learning construction principles if they have selected the improv challenge. Where interference comes in is when you teach or arrange to teach the team a very specific skill to solve a very specific problem. For example, let's say the challenge requires the team to create specialized gear to survive in an extreme environment. You decide that the team needs to learn about scuba gear, and so you bring in an expert to teach them how scuba gear operates. The problem with this scenario is that you determine the solution for the team. The team could have researched different types of gear, such as the ones used to survive in outer space, in the frozen tundra, or inside a volcano. You would have best served your team by bringing in an expert to talk generally about different environments. It is also best to bring in someone who doesn't know anything about the requirements of the challenge. A team manager can avoid interference by teaching or arranging to teach the team a broad range of general skills that tie in with the academic focus of that challenge. Are you choosing the skills that you think will be most helpful for this challenge? If so, then you probably shouldn't do it. There is a big difference between showing a team how to cut different shapes of wood safely and in teaching them how to cut a piece of wood that they're going to actually use in their challenge. The same goes for research material. Let's say the team wants you help in gathering information about Greece for a setting of its story. Instead of just bringing one book, you need to provide a broad range of resources, perhaps travel brochures, history and art books, a map, and a list of websites. Then the team can choose from the range of materials and make its own decision. You want your team to draw from the storehouse of knowledge and use it as they deem best. The important point is that the team needs to be making the choice, not you. Another interference scenario involves materials. Sometimes the team buys materials from a store that need to be cut before they are taking home. This is true of lumber as well as fabric. It is common for a store to do a single cut of wood so it's more manageable, or make a single cut of fabric so you don't have to buy as much. This is a normal way that something is purchased, then it is not interference. Asking for custom cuts, however, is something that is not allowed. If a team does not have the skills to do something, it either has to learn that skill or find another way to do it. The next set of scenarios involves people just trying to be helpful, but they are really interfering. At a dress rehearsal, adults and non-team members may not provide stage directions or acting suggestions. At tournament, all props and costume repairs should be done by the team members. Team members need to do their own hair, apply their own makeup, and put on their own costumes. Only the team can move props and settings from the launch area until after the presentation concludes. It is okay for non-team members to help the team carry items to the prop storage or from prop storage to the prep area. It is interference for your team to involve the audience or the appraisers in any way in their presentation, because it is like having extra team members. Another common scenario where interference happens is when interpreting the challenge. If you find yourself saying, "I wish I had explained it better to my team, then they would have done so much better," keep in mind that it is not your job to explain the challenge. A team manager should never interpret the team's challenge as it is their own responsibility. You can ask open-ended questions, but not leading ones, to encourage the team to come up with its own understanding of the challenge. If they still have problems, you can remind them that they can request a clarification, but don't write the question for your team unless you're doing so for an elementary team, and then you do it in their own words. Here are a few common scenarios where it is not interference to get involved. You can ask your team to review the rules of the road if you notice a rule violation. Stop them if you notice a safety issue. You may also supervise and limit team members' access to the internet websites that you deem inappropriate for the team's age or circumstances. Questions? Please get in touch with us by calling, emailing, or visiting our websites. Please also review the helpful resources listed for this video on the Team Manager and Coordinator training page of the Create Iowa website.